Have you ever wondered why some e-commerce brands are able to scale to 7, 8, and 9 figures, while others seem to be stuck in the 5 to 6 figures range forever and pretty much never scale out of it? Well, there's a specific list of reasons behind it, but in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to get ahead of 99% of e-commerce brands, which to be honest is way easier than you probably think. It just comes down to really nailing down the basics and doing them right. But this video is going to show you how to do both of that. So make sure you watch it, because again, if you spend, a few minutes of your life, it's going to show you how to get ahead of your competition and then how to scale your brand faster and more profitably than 99% of other e-com brands. So let's get right into it. When it comes to scaling your business or in general, in life, there are really two ways to do something better or get ahead of, someone else. It's to do more or do better. And that's really it, right? Like if you run an e-com brand and if you want to scale it further, then you need to do either more of work. So, spend more money on ads, create more creative, send more emails, have more articles for SEO, have more organic pieces of content, and so on, or do better. So instead of focusing on, quantity, you can focus on quality and do better ads, do better emails, do better articles, do better organic posts, and so on and so on. Because the truth is that, it's really simple, but everyone is looking for shortcuts these days. And this is exactly why you should do the opposite. If the crowd does A and everyone is trying to follow the easy path, you do B, you follow the hard path, and maybe you won't get instant gratification. But after 1 year, maybe 2 years, you're going to be way ahead out of those people. And it's going to be, worth it for you to have done all of those things for 1 or 2 years and then scale further than any of the other brands at all. And ideally, to be honest, you want to do both, right? You want to do more of everything and you want to do all of this better. Let me show you how to apply this for your e-com brand, because I know this is a fairly broad concept, because again, it can be applied to anything in life, even for my agency, I could also be doing some more of some things or be doing better. But yeah, let me show you how to apply it for your e-com brand. So now, what you can focus on as an e-com brand owner? There are really 4 main ways to generate sales for e-com brands and scale it, okay? And I know there's probably some other ways, but these are the 4 main ones, and this is what we are seeing more working for the majority of our clients, doing 7 and 8 figures. And again, I know there's probably some other way that you can mention, but these are the 4 main ones that usually allow you to scale to 7 or 8 figures and even beyond that, okay? And I know there's going to be native ads and so on, or maybe even, newsletter ads, billboards and whatnot, but these are the main ones. So the first one is going to be email marketing. The second one is going to be SEO. We are going also to have paid ads across Meta, Google, Snapchat, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever. And they're organic for the same platforms pretty much. Each of these has its benefits and use cases, and ideally you want to have all of them. Again, it comes down to doing more and better and doing all of that more and better, okay? But for example, the results from ads or emails are almost instant. So you can send an email and get sales within 1 hour. You can get ads and, get sales within 1 hour after they get approved and everything, of course. But with SEO or organic, you would need to wait a bit, okay? With organic, it's 50-50 and also depends on the platform you're using, because if it's Instagram or TikTok, then yeah, you can make a post and, within the 24 hours get tons of sales. But in some cases, if it's a YouTube video, for example, it might be start off slowly, but then it can pick it up. And over time, it would be just like a parabolic growth essentially. Okay, with SEO, it's kind of similar, I guess, where it might not be instant, but after some time, it creates this snowball effect and it's actually pretty crazy. And emails and ads are also fairly predictable, whereas with organic or SEO, you don't really know what will go viral, okay? What I mean by that is with paid ads or email marketing, even if you don't have the best email, okay, and you send it, it's still gonna generate some kind of revenue, right? Even if it's the worst email and you have a decent email list which is engaged and so on, it's still gonna generate some sales. If you launch ads which are terrible as well, they probably will generate some sales as well. And you can kind of predict what's going on, right? Like with emails, if you see that you're going into spam, you know that, okay, if I fix it, if I get out of the spam, I'm going to get more sales. And you can kind of predict that if your sales are 1K at a 20% open rate, and you double the open rate, your sales are going to go to 2K. It's pretty predictable, okay? And you can kind of react based on the stats in real time. Same with ads. If your watch time or hook rate or CTR in general are low, okay, I need better hooks, I need better body, maybe I need better CTA, maybe my load page is too slow, so I need to improve that because not many people are seeing the landing page or product page. But with SEO or organic, you're creating content, posting it, and then not really knowing if it's gonna go viral. You might not know exactly why it didn't work. Okay, so they're a little bit less predictable. With organic, you could argue that okay, you can kind of analyze it, because if something didn't go viral, then okay, this type of content is not what people want. But you get my point, okay? And there's also one important metric that I didn't show on purpose, but that will determine what your focus should be if you want to get ahead of other e-com brands. Let's talk about this magical word or numbers, which is going to be ROI. Return on investment is how many dollars will you get back for every one single dollar invested or spent. And I'm just going to show you the examples right now. For email marketing, you're averaging between 3,600 to 4,200% return. So it means that if you spend $1, you're going to generate $36 or $42 back. And yes, this is ROI on the software that you use, but in reality, this could be the only cost that you have for your email marketing, okay? You're spending, let's say, $100 on a software for emailing your, customers or subscribers, and you would generate, 3.6K revenue out of this $100 on your Klaviyo bill or like some other email tool bill invested, okay? And I know that you might be like, okay, but what about, if I pay a team or have an agency? Honestly, I run an agency doing emails for e-com brands, and none of our clients are getting ROI lower than like 10 or 15x, including our agency fee. So even if you include our agency fee, the ROI is still between 10 to 15x, or 1 to 0.5k percent return on investment, which is still way better than the other ones. With SEO, it's averaging 200 to 317%, which is $2 to $3.17 for every single dollar spent. And again, this is pretty hard to calculate as well, because you might not have really accurate attribution. So it's like hit or miss more or less, but this is averaging, okay? For paid ads, it's around 2%. And I know we're going to have retargeting ads that might have 5x ROAS, but still on average it's going to be around 200%. So, $2 revenue for every single dollar spent. For social media, it's very hard to calculate unless you are running only organic and nothing else. Because if you're doing, all of those channels, then it's really hard to attribute the sales that are coming from social posts. And as you might have noticed, emails have the highest ROI, the channel is super predictable, and you can see immediate results, which is pretty much one of the best, combinations for scaling an e-com brand, because it's extremely profitable. Again, even if you pay some agency or some team to do your emails, if you hire a team, it's probably going to be lower, because usually hiring a team is more expensive than paying even like top agency. So just paying the agency is a better way, but like regardless, it's going to be for another video. Emails have the highest ROI, are predictable, and you're seeing immediate results. If you need to get more cash right now, you create an email, send it, and you're getting more sales. It's really as simple as that. So let me show you how to actually get this kind of ROI with emails, because again, it's nothing complicated. It's actually fairly easy. Let me show you how to do it. Let's talk about game plan. As I said before, we want to do more and we want to do better. This will really come down to focusing on deliverability, which is doing better, volume, doing more, and content, doing better. 3 main pillars of making more money with emails, really, and I'm going to cover all of them right now. For deliverability, you can't really do more here, because it's like you have one deliverability, but you can land in the primary tab more than other brands. Overall, you want to avoid spam folder as much as you can. Spam folder is your biggest enemy, so avoid it. It's just like an equivalent of having your ads banned, like pretty much nobody's going to see them. You can do it by having the right sending infrastructure, building reputation with ESPs, which is inbox service providers, and then monitoring and fixing deliverability when needed. If you need an in-depth guide on how to fix your deliverability and get out of spam and get 50 or even 40% or even 60% open rates, there's going to be a link below this video, which is going to be a complete deliverability masterclass. Everything you need to know, from setting up the right sending infrastructure to building the reputation to then monitoring and fixing when needed. All of that is going to be covered in my free guide, so make sure you download it. Then we have volume. This one is very interesting to me, because a lot of brands are scared to send more than 4 emails a month. But that's why I am here to show you some of these stats and like prove, based on data, that it's worth it to send more. So as you can see, 54% of brands, like in general of e-com brands, send between 2 to 4 emails per month, okay? What it means is that 46% of all brands send more than 4 times a month. So if you send more than 4 emails a month, you're already in top 46%, okay? I know it's not perfect because we're trying to get ahead of 99%, so we're trying to get into the 1%, but this is just the beginning because 32% of all the brands are sending emails once a month. Once a week, sorry, that probably should be. 8% of brands send emails between 5 to 9 times per month, okay? So if only 8%, then it means that if you send between 5 to 9 emails per month, you're already in top 8%. And then 6% of brands send more frequently. So by sending more than 10 emails per month, you are already in the top 6% of all e-com brands. Just by sending more than 10 emails a month. Like just listen to this and try to visualize it. If you send 3 emails per week, which is once every 2 days, let's say you're sending on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, you are already in the top 6% of all e-com brands just by sending and doing more. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you should be sending 2 emails per day because that will put you in top 0.0001%. If you overdo it, it's gonna have the exact opposite effect because your deliverability will be poor, your list will be burned essentially. And yeah, you could be sending 30 emails per month, but again, you would burn through your list pretty quickly. So we want to be sending at least 3 to 4 campaigns a week. 3 per week is a bare minimum. 4 per week is fine if you're doing a little bit more of the segmentation, you're having different content and your list is very engaged and high quality, okay? But 3 per week is a bare minimum and you shouldn't go below that. And if you do 3 per week, that's again like top 5% of all e-com brands just by sending 3 emails per week. That's crazy. Now I'm going to talk about sweet spot, which again, for campaigns, is going to be 3 to 4 emails per week. Usually more is possible, but then, if you look at the diminishing returns, it's gonna be super crazy because you're gonna be sending 5 to 6 emails per week, but your opens are gonna go down, the clicks, your revenue won't be that much higher, so it's really not worth it. 3 to 4 per week is a sweet spot unless you have a huge email list and you can really segment it, based on the buying intent, based on the product interest, and so on and so on. You also want to make sure that you have differentiated content, formats, and segments, so you're not targeting, all of those people with the same content 4 times a week because that will burn through the list pretty quickly too. Now for flows, you also want to make sure that you have the ones below. So you want to have welcome flow with 5 emails, abandoned cart with 5 emails as well, abandoned checkout with 5 emails, browse abandonment with 5 emails, site abandonment with 1 email, window shoppers 3 emails, post purchase 5 to 6 emails, customer winbacks 2 to 3 emails, replenishment if applicable. It's not going to be applicable to all brands, but if it is to your brand, between 2 to 3 emails, and then first purchase anniversary 2 emails. This is really it. This is the volume you need to be in the top 1% of all e-com brands, let's say, okay? So again, to sum it up, you need those flows that you're seeing on the screen right now with the exact number of emails. And on top of that, send between 3 to 4 emails per week. And you're in the top 1% in terms of volume. But now what's left is content. Because sending better emails really comes down to knowing your audience. And I highlighted it by making it bold and underlining it, just because this is the base of your content. If you know your audience well, if your content resonates with the audience, you're going to make so much money that you don't even realize, because you're going to figure out how to make better ads, how to send better emails, and how to make more money overall. If you want to learn more how to do it, I have a separate video on that showing you how to actually send better emails than 99% of all brands, and that's going to be another in-depth video showing you, how to do this. But knowing your audience is the number one thing. Just know things like their fears, dreams, desires, frustrations, and so on and so on. That's going to be super powerful when it comes to scaling your e-com brand and sending just better content, because the relevancy is the number one factor in sending better content. Even if it's not written in the most beautiful way, it's still gonna convert if it's relevant. Because if someone reads the email and they're like, yeah, it's me, I have the same problem, I'm struggling with the same thing, and it seems like they understand my problems, then they're like, okay, I'm gonna try their solution, because if they know me so well, then probably their product is good, okay? It's like an open loop. Then you also want to be testing angles and applying what works, because yes, there is going to be a bank of evergreen angles that always do work, like with Mythbusters, FAQs, best arrivals push, new arrivals, restocks, and so on. But you still want to be testing new angles and applying what works for your brand specifically and for your target audience. Then you want to be spying on your competitors and just replicating their winning angles. If you see your competitor sending, reviews email every single week, then probably they're sending it because it works and not because they want to show off the reviews. I mean, maybe, but chances are that if they're doing it frequently on a weekly basis and creating different variations of the same angle, you want to do the same. Of course, don't copy it word for word. But again, if you see that, for example, they're pushing reviews or maybe they're pushing Mythbusters every single week, you should be following it and doing the same format and sending it to your email list as well. You also want to have a variety of formats and designs. By variety of formats, I mean plain text versus design. And for designs, just make them different. Don't make every single email the same structure, the same layout, because it's gonna get boring. But make sure you differentiate them a bit, have a variety, so it's not boring, because that's gonna be important. And then you want to be following the right visual hierarchy for 90% of your emails, which is gonna be logo, header, subheader, call to action, body, call to action, collection links in the footer, that's it. Super simple, but again, I have all of this covered in my other video about how to create better emails than 99% of brands, so make sure you watch it because I'm going to be covering the visual hierarchy as well. But after you do it, you need to take it further and start optimizing your Klaviyo account. If you want to learn how to do it, how to get the most after your Klaviyo account, and once you have the setup that I covered in this video, you want to optimize it to be even higher than top 1%, you want to get beyond that, I have a separate guide on how to do it. It's entirely free. It's gonna be linked in the video description down below as well. It's gonna be in the pinned comment too. Again, it's entirely free. These are the exact optimization guides that we use for a bunch of 7 and 8 figure brands to scale them further. So make sure you get it, it's entirely free. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to watch my other one, which is going to show you how to create better emails than 99% of all brands. Thanks for watching, cheers!